Hello, welcome back to the Governance Project NZ. And today we're talking about the electoral system, talking about first past the post, the MMP system, and why it's not working. Why is it flawed, and why we still have the issues that we have in terms of governance and government. Right. So bear with. I'll make it short. I'll make it in all everyday normal language, so I'm not going to use any jargon, and I'm going to describe what I've learned and what I know from working in government around these systems. Okay, so for all of those newbies here who don't know our history, we had something called first past the post, right? And I'm just going to read some. And how it worked was that you got one vote and one from one electorate. And whoever got the most votes in every electorate won, right? But what happened was that the majority of the party that got the biggest always dominated, right? And so the government, not the people, the government proposed a new system because they knew we were getting kind of hoo-ha and grumpy with this government dominance. So they created this thing called MMP, mixed member proportion. And so it was supposed to, in its day, bring in a greater diversity of voices into Parliament. And so that if there were economic or social mandates pushed through, that they had a greater selection of people with their voices to it. However, and then so the system they created was that there would be 65 electoral seats and 51 list seats. So the way they rigged the system is that the party that got most electoral seats got a top up. So the list seats are just top ups of the major parties, which then loads the weighting again. And even worse, the list MPs, half of us, we don't even know who they are, do we? I was like, all of a sudden they're in government, you go, who the heck is that? They're a list MP. So, but what it does is it stacks the chairs, it stacks the table so that the dominant party is still the dominant party. So, MMP was just, we were tricked into that system. Man, we were tricked. So, because you get a party vote and you get an electorate vote, and it just loads them up. And so what happened was we went from something like 65 seats to now 123 ministers, of whom we don't know half of them, of whom, what do they do? And we're paying them a lot of money every year to be there. And are our voices any better heard? Is there more democracy? No. So they created a system, changed the system, and tricked us. And it's a flawed system. And I'm going to hopefully get a guest speaker on in the next few days to talk about the voting part of the electoral system and how it's rigged around, shouldn't have used that word, around the advertising and coming up to an electoral race and what happens in New Zealand. And it's so interesting. It's actually such a flawed system. It's a flawed system. Oh, surprise. Anyway, I just want to have a quick look at my notes to see if there's anything else so important I wanted to tell you about all this stuff. Probably. Yeah, no, I've said that. Yeah, no, I've said that. Anyway, no, I've said all that. So have a great day, and so for you guys that don't know about the first past the post and the MMP system, it's flawed. We as people can't get our voices heard any better with this current system that we have in place. And that's the sad thing about it. We trusted the government, and a lot of us said, yes, we want to change the system because we don't like the first past the post, and we were hoodwinked. So, we trusted them, and they weren't open and honest with the information that they were giving us. So we've got to change it. We've got to change the system. All right. Have a lovely day. It's beautiful outside. I might go out and wander around and talk to the sheep and the goats and the chickens. Have an awesome one. Bye.